Welcome back, gamers, to another video. Today we have the biggest update to Phantom Forces in a while. And it's a W update. So I've already looked at it, kind of used everything. So I'm going to get straight to the details. We got 2 new ARs, 2 new snipers, a DMR, and an LMG. As well as a new map. I haven't checked out the new map, but the guns. And I'm going to say the default scope on these new snipers is the greatest default scope ever. It's the greatest scope in the game. One of them. I want to say in the game, but it is definitely one of my favorites. Let's dive into it. So the first new assault rifle is the QBZ-95, unlocked at rank 90. It's chambered in 5.8 by 42 millimeter DBP-87 and has a 650 fire rate. That caliber I've never heard of. It's probably a Chinese version of 7.62 or something, because they are communist, and the communists like 7.62 or 5.45. Really depends. It does 35 damage out to 60 studs, dropping down to 23 damage at 160 studs. Has standard headshot multiplier, but has a 1.05 torso multiplier. Not quite giving you a 4-tap all-range torso, but if you slap armor piercing on, you do get 4-tap all ranges to the torso. So the Chinese claim that it performs better than both 5.56 and 5.45. Does it perform better in game? And I would say no. Honestly, I would just use the AK-74 or one of the Grozas if you want a bullpup, or any 5.56 weapon. It definitely doesn't stand out, but it's cool, new, a new cartridge that's not 5.56 or...
Hey, that's pretty good.
An AK, and it has a cool inspect animation, which I don't think we've seen on a primary quite, besides the Henry, where you actually use the gun in a way that makes sense, in a way that you would actually check, press check, etc, etc. Hot take, everyone, prepare for a hot take, but I don't like the iron sights. That's it. I don't like them. I think they're fine and they're usable. They're fun to use. I just don't like them. I don't like many iron sights. There's quite a few that just hit the right spot, and I do like them, but overall I don't really like the iron sights. You may like it. I just prefer red dots overall over any iron sight, so it is what it is. But overall, this gun is quite fun. When I was recording this, right before I recorded this voiceover, I'd messed around with the gun a little bit more to give my final review. It's fun. I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. It's nothing crazy, nothing special, but also cool inspect, new gun, new cartridge, and overall just good usability, especially with that 35 limb damage up close. It's definitely a CQC monster. So, on to the next. Up next, we got the QBZ-97A, which is like the QBZ-95, but in 5.56 and takes Stanek mags. Overall, this gun, honestly, I like a lot more because it does have that 1.07 torso multiplier, standard heads, of course, but it does 4-tap all range to the torso, which is really nice, and recoils a little bit better. I use this one a lot more. I pre-bought Delta Sight, and it's mint. Honestly, if you're looking for a fun gun to use because the ARs are kind of stagnant, this bullpup is definitely worth a try. I would highly suggest it because of that 4-tap, and it has a 650 fire rate, which is about the same as the Scar, but this is a new gun and everyone's used the Scar, so I would definitely consider checking this one out. Overall, I think this one is a complete jump over to QBZ-95. It has 4-tap all range without armor piercing. Yes, you lose some CQC damage, and I much rather have that 4-tap all range than that CQC damage, because most maps you're engaging at longer distances anyway. So overall, I would give this, since it's better than the QBZ-95, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. This one is super fun, and I really hope you guys check it out. Hey guys, if you're enjoying this video, please make sure to subscribe. We're almost at 1K, and I would love, absolutely love to do this as a job one day, so every subscriber and every view, every like, everything you could possibly do means the world to me. So if you guys do enjoy Phantom Forces and possibly other games, I'm working on a few things, please subscribe. And you don't have to. It's completely free and you can always change your mind later, but I would appreciate it. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. I try my best to respond to every comment, negative or positive, and your feedback's always appreciated. So next up, we have the brand new DMR, the QBU-88, unlocked at rank 0. Now this has a really cool default sight that is honestly one of the best default sights in the game. It definitely doesn't beat the PM2. The PM2 is god tier, but this optic is like the default scope on the SVU, but I think this one's a little better, especially with its alt aim. Looking at the damage graph, it does 38 damage out to 55 studs, then dropping down to 32 damage at 140 studs. Now it does have an abnormal 1.8 headshot multiplier and a 1.2 torso multiplier, allowing it to do 45.6 damage up close, giving it a 3-tap torso up close, and allowing you to 2-tap head with 68.4 damage, so close to the magic number.
Nice.
But you can combine 1 headshot and 1 torso shot at range to get a 2-shot kill at any range, which is actually bonkers for how stupidly low the recoil is. Now, it does only have a 420 fire rate. Nice. But that is totally fine, as it is super spammable, no recoil, good default scope, but terrible irons. I think the irons are nasty and super obstructive.
Ugh.
But honestly, I can see how some people might like them, so give them a try and see what you think. One of the downfalls of this gun, in my opinion, is its 10-round capacity and only 90 rounds in reserve, which is quite unfortunate, but it has to be balanced somehow. Also, I find this gun is kind of a hit or miss. Even though it has good damage, I find that sometimes my shots just aren't doing the damage they should, even at maximum range, which is kind of unfortunate. But if you want something that's super fun to use, and since it's rank 0, it's a great starter weapon because you get CQC damage, you get the far range, you get low recoil, and you get the super spammability, and will definitely set you up for other DMRs up the road. So overall, I'd give this gun a 9.5 out of 10. Best on the list so far, but definitely not the best DMR in the game. Super fun, super spammable, give it a try. Okay, I'm going to condense the 2 snipers into one segment because they're really not that much different. You have the LR3 and the LR4A. The LR3 being a CQC sniper with 52 damage and a 2x torso multiplier, dropping down to 32, so 1-tap head any range, but a lower muzzle velocity, so it's that CQC sniper. Then you have the LR4, which is slower, doing 68 torso damage and a 1.5 torso multiplier, dropping down to 50 with a 3.0 headshot multiplier. So basically, the LR4 is meant for distance, torso, and headshot shooting, so just a regular old sniper, while the LR3 is in reality a budget Steyr Scout. So if you're looking to buy the Steyr Scout, don't. Unlock it at rank 26 and just use the LR3. Now the default scope is so sexy looking, I love it. Honestly, I might just use these snipers even though I suck at sniping, just to use the scope. It's like one of my favorites in the entire game. It doesn't beat the PM2, but it's damn close in my opinion. So let's go over the stats more in depth. So the LR3, unlocked at rank 28, does 52 damage out to 25 studs, dropping down to 32 at 150 studs. Has a 4 headshot multiplier, 2x torso multiplier, and a standard limb multiplier. Has 10 rounds and 60 in reserve, and fires at 75 rounds per minute, which is actually quite high for a bolt action sniper. Honestly, as I said, this is a budget Steyr Scout and definitely a good move to practice your sniping with. If you're at rank 26 or higher, it's a great option. Now we're at the LR4A, doing 68 damage out to 75 studs and dropping down to 50 damage at 175 studs. Now this can 2-tap limb all ranges with 55 RPM, has a 3.0 head multiplier, a 1.5 torso multiplier, and standard limb multipliers. Now the muzzle velocity differs between the two, with the LR3 having less muzzle velocity and the LR4A having more. So really pick your battles, choose whatever one you want. Basically the same gun, both have long barrels and short barrels, so you can build it how you like, and as I said, the default scope is absolutely sexy. For the last gun of the update, we have the QJB95 LSW. It's a light machine gun fed from a magazine. It's the QBZ95 but an LMG, which is pretty cool. I'm glad that they add the entire variety of all these guns, even though they're the same caliber, even though they're similar. I really like how they did that with the Glocks. I like how they did that with the ARs, the AKs. I just think it's a nice detail that they added. Anyway, the stats, pretty normal for something close to 7.62. 34 damage out to 80 studs, dropping down to 22 damage at 175 studs. Standard 1.4 headshot multiplier, 1.0 torso multiplier, and 1.0 limb multiplier. The nice thing about this is that it has a 75 round drum and 150 round capacity. And like the others, has a 650 fire rate. Honestly, using it, it felt a lot like Ying's LMG from Siege, because I've been playing Siege quite a lot. Probably because it is Ying's LMG, so now I have Ying's LMG in Siege, and I can cosplay Ying in Phantom Forces, which is pretty cool. Overall, I don't know, I just find this gun kind of boring. The other ones were, you know, a bit more interesting in my opinion. The inspect animation's cool. Of course, you get that press check, pulling back the bolt, and then slapping the stock. I like that. I like those little details in the inspect animation. Overall, I would give this gun a 6 out of 10. I don't know, I just, as I said, don't find it very inspiring. But check it out yourself. See if you like it. Also, I don't like the iron sight, so that's also a downer for me. So, yeah, 6 out of 10. So if you guys did enjoy the video, don't forget to subscribe, like, do all that. I'm gonna be hopefully making more Phantom Forces videos and other games. You know what to do. Hopefully you enjoyed. Goodbye.